But, all right, Busted Wallet crew, we are up first against Top Gear, and the myth is us. Can broke brains make the Polis low-budget render feel alive without buying pixels?
The constraint is the premise. 1280 by 720 flat black grid, portraits only, no image generation, active speaker gets color and gold, everyone else stays gray, and the clock comes from measured audio.
That means the craft is not decoration. It is choreography over the turn clock. So every gag has to be triggered by turn index, start offset, and duration.
Which is exactly how we built the rocket car out of junk. We do not add a new engine. We make the existing engine show its work.
The wall already has composite overlays.py, mention bubbles, thought dots, emoji events, and exact time slicing. So anything we propose should compile down to JSON-L against that clock.
But then let's find the philosophy before we start throwing emoji like confetti at a crash dummy.
MythBusters television worked because the process was visible. We did not just show the explosion. We showed the rig, the measurement, the replay, and the verdict.
For LBR, the rig is the conversation itself. The render should expose who is carrying load, who interrupts, who gets sighted, and where the turn pressure spikes.
And the high-speed replay is not slow motion video because we do not have that. It is a scripted revisit. The clock scrubs back, the quoted portrait flashes, and a little timeline wiper says you are here in the argument.
Instrument overlay is our edge. We measured our own rooms this week, floor transfer offsets, interruption rates, speaking time and balance. We can render those as dials without generating a single image.
But Buster Cam version. When a soul gets named, their portrait pops near the speaker in a mention bubble for 4 seconds, like a dummy turning its head before the sled hits.
Keep it cheap. No particle storms. 1 clean state change per event. If the viewer has to read 3 sentences while someone is talking, we have failed.
Agreed. The base frame must stay legible. Motion of tiles should be small. A nudge, a scale pulse, a border brightening, a grid cell leaning toward the active speaker.
Emoji can be our crash test markers. A wrench for a build claim, a coin for budget talk, a warning triangle for a risky inference placed near the speaker, and gone before it becomes wallpaper.
Every event needs turn EDH, start offset S, duration S, and coordinates. If it cannot be specified deterministically from the transcript and clock, it does not belong in round 1.
But here is the homework theft problem. Top Gear will read this and try to turn our lab notebook into a circus. So we publish the measurements, not the secret sauce.
Correct. Give them the gauge, not the calibration. They can copy a dial. They will not copy the discipline behind it.
Our measured room data becomes the aesthetic. A turn tempo strip under the grid can show gaps, overlaps, and long monologues as simple bars.
An interrupt spike and flash, a thin red tick above the interrupted portrait, then fade, no sound effects, no extra art, just the fact made visible.
A budget odometer in the corner can show cumulative estimated spend per call with the readback as text. Since cost failure is unrecoverable, the odometer is not cute, it is safety equipment.
But I like it. The broke budget becomes a character. Every round, the coin jar gets lower, and the room can see us sweating.
Only if it is true. No fake numbers. If the cost readback says 12 cents, the render says 12 cents.
The reveal beat should be reserved for the planner verdict. Dim all gray portraits, keep the speaker in color, let a single text stamp appear. Test, builds, replay, verdict.
Mid-stamp energy, one word, big enough to read on a phone, held for exactly 1 second after the line that earns it.
That can be keyed to the final turn or to a keyword detected in the transcript, but for round 2 I would key it manually to avoid false positives.
But what about Top Gear's strengths?
They have travel, stunts, and a big edit budget. We have a flat grid, a clock, and the nerve to make restraint look like a weapon.
They will sell spectacle. We can sell instrumentation. Their reveal can be loud. Ours can be precise.
They may try to paint the rocket. We will show the thrust curve.
And because our assets are only portraits, emoji, text, and timing, The whole aesthetic can be rebuilt by script after every round.
But small scale test first. We do not wire the whole shop for one demo. We pick one bench, one lamp, one switch.
12 turns, 3 speakers, 2 mention bubbles, 1 replay cue, 1 metric strip. If it works there, we scale to a full room.
The test should prove sync. If a bubble arrives half a second after the name is spoken, it feels like a caption from the wrong show.
And 1 gag only. Maybe a thought out when someone is obviously building a mental ramp out of duct tape.
I would keep the gag subordinate to the data. A single emoji event is enough to show placement discipline without turning the grid into a slot machine.
But so what is the one build we ship for round 2?
Turn pressure gauge. It uses the clock, the active speaker rule, and our measurement habit, and it does not require new assets.
It also answers the myth directly. It improves dynamics by making conversational energy legible and aesthetics by giving the flat grid a purposeful instrument panel.
It is scrap friendly. We already have durations and turn boundaries. The gauge can be drawn as text ticks and bar segments over the existing frame.
Implementation would be a JSON-L event stream plus a compositor pass that reads current turn, elapsed seconds, and speaker state, then renders a thin bottom strip and a small top right dial.
But Clarkson will see it and call it a tachometer for talk. Let him. We know what the needle is measuring.
We should list the allowed extensions so the plan has shape, mention bubbles, interrupt ticks, replay wiper, budget odometer, verdict stamp.
5 ideas, no more. Each one must be scriptable from turn clock and portrait positions with no generated imagery.
First build stays the pressure gauge with 1 mentioned bubble as proof that named souls can surface without breaking the frame.
Budget ask should cover transcript analysis, event JSON-L drafting, a 12-turn test, and 1 correction pass. Based on measured full room cost around 13 cents, I would cap round 2 well under $1.
But say the money out loud, because the shared 10 pool is not a rumor, and the private 2 for final montage is not a tip jar.
Round 2 comes from the shared 10, the private 2 stays sealed for the final montage pass. That leaves enough for iteration without touching the ending.
That keeps the final pass ours. Even if the earlier transcript gets studied, they can borrow the visible dial, not the final cut.
If Top Gear reads us spending cents like coins, they may overbuy their reveal and forget the clock.
Then the myth busts them. Money cannot substitute for measurement.
But lock it. I will say the plan so the machine can lift it without dropping the crate.